It's that time of year. Spreadsheets, goal-setting retreats, and the big number. Next year's growth target. 10%. 20. Maybe double in 2 years. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if your target is mostly a wish, and your organization is already doing exactly what its system is designed to do? Today, we'll take a different path, one that replaces pressure with clarity and turns growth from a slogan into a method you can actually use. Annual goals can be useful, or they can quietly sabotage your year. The key is whether you start with a number or you start with an aim. W. Edwards Deming said it this way: "A system must have an aim. Without an aim, there is no system." Your aim is your compass, what you're optimizing for, and what you refuse to sacrifice. Then, once your aim is clear, Deming further cautions that a numerical goal accomplishes nothing. Only the method is important, not the goal. The method is your engine, what you'll change and test to build capability in the direction your aim points. To see this in action, let's drop into a professional services firm in the last week of the year, just as next year's plan is being finalized. Maya is the managing partner, smart, capable, and exhausted. Jordan runs operations and sees the whole chain: leads, proposals, delivery, billing, renewals. On the screen is a single slide. Next year, plus 25%.
We need this. 25%. More marketing, more outbound, more everything.
Can I ask a weird question? Is 25% within what our system can deliver without breaking quality or burning people out?
This is where planning often goes off the rails. We jump from a desired result straight into activity lists, and we act surprised when quality slips or great people leave. Deming warned against this kind of goal setting. He said internal goals without a method are a burlesque. In other words, a kind of performance. Lots of pressure to hit the number, and not much improvement in the system. Jordan doesn't argue about the number. He changes the meeting. He maps how the firm earns revenue, from first contact to repeat work, and then turns back to Maya.
If we want growth, where do we change the system? On purpose.
Growth isn't something you demand. Growth is something you design for. So they rewrite the slide. Instead of grow 25%, they write an aim that includes what they refuse to sacrifice. Improve the reliability of the client experience while building a system of work our people can sustain. Notice what's missing. No revenue number, no growth target. Not because growth doesn't matter, but because growth isn't the aim. It's the result. Next, Jordan pulls up the last 18 months of data: lead flow, close rate, delivery time, and rework. Not to judge people, but to answer one planning question. What does the current system make likely? Deming's point is blunt. If you have a stable system, then there is no use to specify a goal. You will get whatever the system will deliver. A goal beyond the capability of the system will not be reached. The chart isn't asking, how hard should we push? It's asking, what does this system produce when it's working as designed? Jordan sketches a simple process behavior view and says the sentence that changes the posture of the whole plan.
If we want a different result, we need a different method.
So the growth number isn't what we're aiming at. It's what we expect might happen if the system improves.
Exactly. If we get this right, if service becomes more reliable and the work becomes steadier, revenue will tell us, but it can't lead us.
Now they choose 2 methods that could increase capability. Methods they can test, learn from, and scale. First, proposals. Tighten scope clarity and improve response time so the close rate rises without more leads. Second, delivery. Sharpen intake and handoffs so rework drops, and capacity rises without longer hours. They run small experiments using plan, do, study, act. State a prediction, try it with 2 teams for 60 days, study results against the prediction, and then adopt it, adapt it, or abandon it.
So we manage the methods, and the growth number becomes our best prediction.
Yes. And if we miss the prediction, we don't blame people. We study the system.
Here's what you can do to turn next year's annual goal from a wish into a workable plan. First, establish a clear aim. Include what you refuse to sacrifice: quality, trust, and people, and put it at the top of the plan. Second, pick 1 or 2 places in your system where improvement would increase capability. Not 10 initiatives, 1 or 2. Third, choose one simple weekly check that tells you whether your method is working. Not a report card, just a few leading indicators. And finally, make it safe. Tell your team explicitly that bad news is welcome, because it's the fastest way to learn. If you do just those 4 things, you'll start January with an aim people can trust and methods you can actually use. End-of-year planning can feel like you're holding your breath, staring at a number and hoping it will somehow carry you through the next 12 months. But your people can't live on hope. They live on meaning. So before you chase a target, name what you're here to do, who you want to help, what you want to be known for, and what you refuse to break along the way. Then, take one honest step in that direction, not a grand overhaul, one step you can learn from, together. And let the numbers do what they're meant to do. Reflect the story, not write it. Because when the purpose is clear and the work is steady, something changes. The team exhales. The week gets lighter. And little by little, the year becomes one you're proud to live through.